I'm Lisa Parenteau, and I'd like to welcome you to Lifting Others as We Rise, the podcast where we dive into the world of real estate and the power of positive thinking. In each episode, we're going to bring you inspiring conversations with real estate professionals and other thought leaders who have really harnessed the power of lifting others up along their journeys. So let's get ready to elevate our mindset. Lifting Others as We Rise podcast, where inspiration is a catalyst for action. Let's go. Welcome to Lifting Others as We Rise podcast. I am your host, Lisa Parenteau, realtor, team leader, CRS, broker, associate, on beautiful Cape Cod, but most importantly, Glama to Eloise Ann, to Hazel, and we have Navy Grace arriving in June. So that is my most important role, but I'm also, of course, a realtor and podcast host. So get comfy. I'm really excited. I'm really super excited about today's episode. Excited to meet my guest, excited to learn more about what he does and some of the amazing things, including a new book that he just was released. So whatever you're doing, grab your cup of tea, put your headphones in at the gym, settle in. My intention, as always, is to continue to discover inspiration and catalysts for change in the stories of real estate leaders across the country. And today, my very special guest is Jacopo Iasiello. Welcome, Jacopo. I'm so excited to have you here. I'd love to learn more. I've got like a little bio for you, and I will read that. But if you want to expand that, that would be great. You're actually a doctor, and I'll be interested to learn about that. Italian entrepreneur and real estate expert specializing in auctions. I'm assuming high-end luxury auctions. But I don't know that, and short sales, because I know your market is typically Miami and other wealthy markets. So I'm assuming that those are luxury auctions. Love to hear more about that at some point. But you also had a multi-million-dollar jewelry franchise. Very interested in learning about that, my good man. And I want to hear how that has kind of, inspired and impacted and informed where you are currently, for sure. You're a leading figure in Miami's luxury market, founding Luxury and Wealth Group that has offices in Miami, Italy, and Dubai. Very exciting places to be all. And you're now on a mission to help others build multi-generational wealth through real estate investment strategies, something that is a goal, I believe, of most very good top producing realtors, because once you are involved in our profession for a little while, you see that multi-generational growth and the impact that can change and the ripple effects that has for generations. And so I applaud that as a primary goal and welcome you. I can't wait to have our conversation today.
Lisa, thank you to invite me to the beautiful presentation. And your energy is coming from the video, like really, with energy and power. And, I am over here because your audience, they are realtor, broker, people that want to grow, is part of my tribe. And I believe it's something so important. Be a realtor. I have two hats, one investor and one a broker, but 99% I'm investor. I think so. The mentality now in this big change of real estate from the realtor sides, they need started to change, completely shift to their self with another hat, not only realtor, but to investor. And I believe it's so important for them too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that being said, tell us a little bit about kind of where you started. You have a PhD. Where were you in school? What is that PhD? And then how did that lead you into the multi-million-dollar jewelry franchise? And then we'll kind of talk about how that has kind of morphed into where you are now.
Yeah, Lisa, like what's happening, I coming from a loving family in Italy, Napoli in particular. And when I starting my life, I don't have any experience, any knowledge, nothing. I starting like a professional. I try to becoming a professional sport in soccer. I have this dream, this energy, everything to go through to my dream. And my dream is failure miserable, like around 17 years old. I have a big injury. And this situation changed completely the direction of my life. I come back to my family house in Napoli because I live at 14 years old, my house in Napoli to play professional soccer in Italy. Italy in different club. And what's happening in 17 years old, I need to reinvent myself. I don't know what I need to do. I need find a way to be another human being because my identity is completely identified like a professional soccer.
Yeah.
What's happening? I starting to apply four principles I will continue to apply now in my life. First of all, I research. Second of all, I grow. Third of all, I do action every day. And the fourth part, I am now in the phase of contribution. Means I give now my knowledge, my experience, and the book Healthy, Rich, and Happy is one of these motivation why I create this book to give to other human beings. From over there, I starting my first own shop in the jewelry space. I don't have any knowledge. I research. I do one course. This course of entrepreneur in Italy give me the possibility to access to money from the government from Italy. And from over there, I starting. First mistake, I positioned this first shop in the wrong area. I learned the first lesson,
Yeah, of
location.
course. Yeah, good. Yeah. Yeah.
And after I'm moving forward, I open more than 20 shop. I create this business multimillionaire success. And I create other company, travel in Africa. For 2 years, I live in Abidjan, in Ivory Coast. And another part important, I find the light of my life around 22 years old when I read one book called, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Over there, I learn about the power of real estate. And from over there, I changed completely my mindset. I started to invest in Italy in the auction space with which kind of money. I want to explain everything is possible. At that time in Italy, you have the possibility to participate in auction where you possible buy property and after take the mortgage. When I start in this way, it means like you need to have like small deposit, and after when you have the assignation of the property, when you win the bid, you possible have the mortgage directly. And I starting like this, and for 6 years, 7 years, I do flipping in Italy. And after this is my first part of my journey of my life, and after starting the second part, but now we are in this, in the first part I share with you.
Yeah. So let me ask you, when you had some success with the jewelry franchise, but then as you started to look at investing and flipping, and I'm not sure if you did the actual work, tell me a little bit about what was the catalyst for you realizing, like, how did you find that book? Was there a mentor? Was there someone who provided inspiration to you at that point? Share some of that with our listeners about really, it's those inspirational points for me that so define. And when others can share those, I think that we're all lifted for sure.
Yeah, Lisa, the reality is this one. From really young age, I have this something inside me. It's the part inside me is the creativity. I love to read the book from really young age. 11 years old, I read book, from entrepreneur and people that touch other life, like Mother Teresa, San Francisco. And this desire arrived from really inside me. But who put the same in my mind, the energy is my mother, because my mother is my family have curiosity. My family, we have a lot of curiosity. We are people we ask, we are people we want to know why something happening, and we try to working in ourselves every day. Means everything is coming from somewhere. My DNA, I have this kind of intention to create, plus I every day now, but too when I'm young, I understand that the most important part is action. If you don't read, you don't possible know. And this is the past most important in my life. Read this book because I'm curious to understand another sector where people, if you see the global wealth, the majority is coming from real estate is for one reason, because you have leverage, you have a capacity to create wealth. And what's happening, I understand this point really young age, around 19, 20 years old, and I want to find something to learn. Finding this book, And I do one because I do action, remember, the third part of what I learned. I do some course in Italy where I learn how flipping. And from over there, everything's starting. And all my life take another completely direction where after I arrive over here in the United States, you know?
Yeah, so it was your mom who really was kind of the inspiration in terms of her wanting to instill in you a sense of curiosity, which is
Yes, because you receive wherever you are, the five people near you to when you are young, they give you input. And I have two beautiful parents, two beautiful grandparents, four and another grandmother where all five they are different, but they have a lot of curiosity, and this is coming from them.
how lovely. And are they all with us still?
Not only mother and father, and I try to enjoy them in each moment of my life. I live 3 months in Italy. I go back, 3 months over there to enjoy them, to take them and bring everywhere is possible to enjoy their moment with them.
Yeah. So you're flipping houses, hopefully you're gaining some success with that. You're meeting people, you're serving them. I mean, one of the things people don't realize is that we are in a service profession. It's absolutely a service profession. And I think the realtors who understand the service piece of what we do are the most they're successful, but they also are the most gratified. So you were doing that. I imagine you were doing well. And anytime we can, start to grow a portfolio of real estate, that's a very good thing. So you were in the Naples area, you were in Italy. What inspired you? What challenge maybe happened? What that kind of got you to make the shift from that to where you are right now, or to the next step, the next part, the next phase?
Yeah, what's happening? You know better than me. If you are in business, like which kind of business you are, everything is possible change from 1 minute to another one. But in reality, what's happening in my life, 2008, 2009, subprime mortgage create a big issue in United States. And in Italy, the market related to real estate, what I do at that time in Italy with, flipping, starting to really stock. And the business of jewelry, one of my shop, 20 shop, imagine I have more than 20 employee and, a lot of things started to shift I started to lose revenue. And I understand I need to start to find some other place to bring
Diversify.
more value in my life. Two, if I am really comfortable, I already create, a company with $15 million of revenue. It means like it's not a normal company. But what's happening, I started to apply the same method every time, research, and I find this opportunity in Florida. And what's happening when I find this opportunity, light bulb in my mind immediately. I understand because I remember like yesterday, I see this graphic in Zillow from the property where, around 2006, this property have really completely different kind of value. I arrived in 2011. And from over there, I really recognize the importance of the moment and starting to I'm moving from the other part of the world, take one flight, don't speak English, don't have any kind of connection, don't understand how it's working the market, nothing, zero, slept on the floor really in for a couple of days to try to connect the FPL light because the other part of the person they don't understand me because I don't speak English. And from over there starting a lot of cry, a lot of demon at that time really. And after going back from Italy to United States for after a couple of years, I starting to really realize all the masterpiece I put together, and I do more than 350 fly flipping. I have like a portfolio of cash flow where I possible decide where I want to live, when I want to live, and I have a clear strategy and believe in everybody they possible really create something real estate if they do action and they working and they don't need money because this country, United States, is the most powerful, beautiful country in the world. It's the only a country where you arrive, if you have money or if you don't have money, you possibly have the same possibility. And other is excuse. I don't believe, It means everybody have the possibility to create something. And real estate is the way.
Yeah, I certainly believe that. But what was inside you when you were talking about just coming here and crying and not knowing anyone? Tell me a little bit about what was that belief inside that you could make it, you could make a difference, you could create some success for yourself. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Lisa, I explain, like at that time I have two major power in my body, in my mind. One tell me, hey, don't worry, you already create something in Italy. Probably you need refine your life. It means I want to be every time at the next level. Don't worry, stay chill, okay? And another one tell me the opposite. I want to moving forward. It's like the captain, come. And these two really power energy, they bring me one day up, one day down, one day up, one day down, one day up, one day down. And what's happening in that moment, I really realize the most important part of my life is like to now I have the possibility to really working with my emotion because I create a clear path to I use every day to put my energy, my clarity in the right place to go in the direction of my focus. And this method I call MPBE, meditation, morning, pray, biohacking and exercise. And I explain in the detail inside the book, where every day I apply this method and to if I am tired, to if my mother is sick, to if whatever is happening, I feel regenerate, I feel more energized, and I have the clarity to go to my goal.
Okay, so then tell me more about that. So it's MPB.
E.
MPBE. Tell me where were you sitting when you got that message? Because clearly, well, I believe when these things happen, that often they are from some kind of a divine connection, if you will. We don't usually continue to think of these things on our own. There's usually something opened up inside and a message has come through. So where were you? Tell me a little bit about when that came to you, and then let's dig in a little bit more and you can explain to me what those four pieces are.
Yeah, what's happening is this one. When I'm moving over here in Miami, I started to lose a lot of piece of my life. First of all, I started to lose the identity. Okay, identities means wherever you believe in yourself, you are. And in Italy, I feel I am entrepreneur. I have this shop and employee. I feel my chest really up because I go in my shop, young man with a lot of shop and everything. When I arrive over here, technically I am not anybody. I don't know anybody, and I need to starting from zero. Why I do? And I told you because I want to go at the next level in my life. And thanks to the divine, I arrive. What's happening? This kind of emotion bring me at one point where I feel lose a lot of peace, and in the same time, I have the possibility to really live comfortable in my life, but I'm not happy. And it defines why. And what's happening, I have my friend, the name Domenico in Italy. He is like, 60 years old at that time. And I see this guy, really looks younger, really energized, a beautiful family and everything. And I tell him, oh, what's happening in your life? What do you do? And he told me these two words, meditation, transcendental. Wow. This word continue to rembomb in my mind. And when I come back to United States, I remember like yesterday, I'm in the couch in front of the water in Miami Beach. And I tell, hey, I need to try this thing. Come back after 1 month in Italy, do this kind of the course. And from over there, it's completely changed my life. Open different kind of vision. And now I apply this method, meditation transcendental, in the way where it produce every day for me something special. What means when I started to meditate, I insert in my mind some kind of concept I wanna receive from the divine. And for example, if I need invest in some opportunity, the business or some opportunity of the real estate, I think about this opportunity, and after I started to meditate, close my eyes, go down down. And immediately after 10 minutes, 6 minutes, I do 20 minutes, I started to arrive some kind of idea. And this is the beauty about meditation, because when you are in the level where anything touch you, your mind in this blue, in this white state, you feel really, inspired, and you don't know why, who tell you this kind of thing, how you believe. I believe how a lot of people, they believe, they listening this podcast, I believe in the divine. And what's happening, arriving this, and I find the perfect spot to create this emotion early in the morning, because my body working perfectly at this time, because I read a lot of book, like a Bible, Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, and every book, this big book, tells something important. Go to sleep when the flower is closed, and open your eyes when the flower is come out. And it's normally not for everybody's working, but for me it's working perfectly. Wake up really early at 4:30 in the morning. Flower is not wake up at 4:30 in the morning, but I wake up. And from over there until 2 p.m., I have this is my mind working perfectly until now. I have this power energy. And from over there, I starting my day with different vision, different feeling, because I create this feeling. And the other part, the method, they are, really interesting, because I think so you believe in the divine, the audience believe in the divine something, and I really connect every day with the divine.
So meditation, and then the other pieces. So it came to you, actually, it sounds like what I think has happened for me over very many years is that there's an old saying that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You continue to meditate, you do have experiences that you would not have if you were not willing and open to, first of all, the discipline of the practice of meditation, which it is a discipline and it is a practice. And you begin to surrender a lot of this and just, leave yourself open to listen to whatever is coming, and you make yourself more and more fertile for those seeds to be planted. So it sounds like you just did that naturally, but then it continued to expand, and it was so expansive for you that you stayed with it. And that is my hope for everyone who starts any kind of meditation practice, that they begin to see the enormous benefit that can come from a regular, disciplined practice. We are many of us are very undisciplined people, so that part of it chafes with some people, but it is. I mean, that's what I have found in my decades of practice, for sure. I had no idea that you were. So tell us about the P and the B and the E part.
Yeah.
Of the method.
What's happening is this one, imagine this is in your mind, I coming from a Catholic family, really beautiful grandfather, grandmother, where they told me, hey, every day in the morning you wake up, you pray the God. When you go to sleep, you pray the God, and whatever. And what's happening when I grow in my life, I am really attracted to create abundance in my life, economic abundance, and I achieve this result. And I never connect anymore with the divine, because, I feel like what I do over here, I don't feel nothing. And at one point in my life, when I am in the dark moment of my internal part, when I coming over here in the United States, I realized something important. I need to start to reconnect with the divine, whatever you believe. And now I create for many years this I call pre-activation, because I go to the opposite of what my family put in my mind. What's happening, to grow in your life, you need to reset your mind and understand what is working for you and not. Now, why I reset? Because I understand the pray only with a small mantra like, hey, God, give me whatever, is not working. But if you put in the correct position, the order will work. And I will go in the detail better what this means. First of all, when I pray for somebody or something specific, it's possible be my mother, it's possible be my father, it's possible be a friend, one person giving me good energy, somebody opening me the door and smiling my day, wherever is it. And after I apply the second part of the big book tell inside this kind of book, give And after ask, and what I do, I ask to the God, to the divine, whatever you want to call, with clarity, what I want for my day, what I want for my direction of my life. Clarity, emotion, what I want, specific number, everything. First of all, starting from the day, and after starting for the master picture of my life. Plus, I visualize, okay, clearly. And after I finish the prayer, I recording with my voice for 12 aspects of my life what I want. Because remember, we have a monkey mind, and every time we jump from one thing to another thing to another thing. And this recording, I visualize and I recording with specific detail what I want in my life. And finally, with some affirmation from really big name. And this means I have 12 aspects of my life where I recording what I want, plus the big affirmation of the big name like Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, whatever. They told something so specific where, connect me and bring me boom in my day. And the other part is biohacking and exercise. Biohacking is something I learned now is maybe 5 years ago. The first time I learned, I go to in Finland, because starting over there, the big movement, and after Dave Asprey. And what's happening is apply something in your life with food, action, or some small practical thing to change the state of your mind and bring energy in your day. Something small. Every day in the morning, I do cold shower. That's it. Wherever is cold outside, in Miami is not really cold, but in Italy, yes. Whatever is happening outside, I do cold shower. And what's happening, the beautiful Lisa is this one. I have two people in my mind at that time. One is the captain, like tell to everybody, we need to go to the water. We need to go to the water. The other one, they are like people on top of the boat where they told, no, we don't want to go. We don't want to go. But what's happening is this, Lisa, when I go through the water and come out to the water, I feel another person. Quindi biohacking is something used small with this kind of thing, with the food, with some kind of supplement I use specific for my body, my energy, and my mind, where I explain in the book. And, some kind of device I used to, but I am not attached to the device. So important. If tomorrow the device is not working, I am not connected necessarily with this device. Means I don't need it. I use control like Aura, this ring. I use other kind of device. I use other kind of device, is it? Where I control, because if you have some device to control your energy, your power, if you don't check every day what's happening in your body, your mind, you don't know your direction of your energy. You don't know where you need to go. You don't know what's happening the day before. Maybe you eat something. Maybe you speak with somebody, or maybe you see some film. And I have really strict rules in my house with my fiancée, where we try to use the visual part in the correct way too. Everything needs to bring energy inside my house. And the last part, but it's not the last part, is the exercise. Exercise is like the most important, and I utilize different kind of exercise. I do interval training, I do different kind. But, in the last year, I learned something from my personal trainer, Dario, is a really nice guy. He explained me something important. I never think about this, like the importance about visualize when you do exercise. Because like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the most, the bodybuilder, he do this when he practice his bodybuilding. And this is, I learned something new, because I am open every time to learn. And inside the book, I explain this kind of different technique I used to do exercise. But I believe, Lisa, in something so important. I want to be clarify. I want to be clear. It's not for everybody a unique method. Okay, it's not like, hey, this is the secret, because everybody want to sell secret. I don't want to sell a secret. The secret is only one. Ask clear question to yourself, starting to do action with this method, MPBE, and you will see the difference. But probably it's not working for you in the morning, working for you at 9, at 8, whatever. But if you started to practice constantly, no less than 21 days, because of after the 21 days, your mind started to recognize like habit. You really change your life because I believe in changing your life. And something, the morning part, because I love to recognize the importance to somebody putting something in your mind, is coming from another book, The Miracle Morning of Halle Rold, where I learn the importance about miracle morning. And like this, I develop this method now, wherever I am, wherever in the position I am, wherever I am in the part of the world, never happening because changed my life.
So two things. One is why I want to ask you a question that I love to ask all of my podcast guests as we wrap up, but also I wanted to get information about the book, how people could get the book. We'll put all of that in the show notes. So I know that we'll get that information and make sure that people have that. Do you want to, is there a website people can go and visit? Let us know about that. And then I'll ask you my final question.
Yes, Lisa, they possible help me in the process I have in mind. The book is coming to give, not to receive. The give, why I give. All the money coming from this book, I will donate with one association I already work over here in Miami called Hermano de la Calle, where they give dignity to homeless people, and I support them with some my property, where I give the price less of the market to give the possibility to these people to live and to have one house on top of their head. And this is important. And they possible find the book in Amazon or through my website, healthyrichandhappy.com, where they find some more about myself, or through Instagram, Jacopo Iasiello Investor Broker, where I try to share some good information, some motivation, and some knowledge about real estate, because I believe the vehicle to create is real estate.
Yeah, for sure. No, the website is very clear and very easy to navigate. So thank you for creating that as well. We'll make sure all that's in the show notes. So my question that I love to ask is, can you share with us a time that what was the most uplifting compliment you have ever received, and why was it so uplifting to you?
The one most important is my life. It's coming from my mother with the word and the touch of her hand in my face. I remember like yesterday. After I finish my career like a professional soccer, imagine something, Liz. A young boy, like from 7 years old until 17 years old, I try to becoming a professional soccer. I leave my house at 14 years old, really cry a lot in another city or whatever. My mother told me when I have this big injury, put the head in my front and tell me, you will succeed wherever you will do. And this phrase, I remember like yesterday, we stay in the sofa in my bedroom, and this is something so beautiful because this remaining in my mind, and from over there starting everything.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. And so beautiful because you kind of, when I asked you your first question about inspiration, it was your mom as well. So I think there's an amazing thread of number 5 and number 6 that Tony Robbins talks about with the human needs. And those are growth and contribution. And I see both of those shining through everything that you do. It's been wonderful chatting with you. I just love your energy as well. I look forward to taking a look at the book. We have many things in common, as we've already found, so that's lovely. It's been a real pleasure, and I know that all of our listeners will really get a lot out of this episode of Lifting Others as We Rise. So thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to when our paths may cross. I'll be in Miami in October for
nice.
Yeah, EXP has our big event there in October, so I'll be there. I'll make sure to reach out to you. Maybe there'll be some way that we can connect for a cup of coffee or something when I'm down there.
For sure. I really appreciate this, and I really appreciate, I want to tell you something. I really appreciate what you do, and I tell to a lot of podcasts where I go, where they really bring energy in the world, because we need more people bring light in this different moment in our life,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of Lifting Others as We Rise. So many things came out of Jacopo's podcast today. It's certainly one of them is the idea that we can gain internal motivation from some regular practices. Interesting that I never thought the conversation was going to end up with talking about meditation and signs from the divine. But he's got the MPBE system, and my question for you would be to maybe calendar some time to think about what kinds of hmm, what kinds of contemplative activities might you add to your day that would help ground you and would help give you some clarity? Um, I thought today's podcast really talked a lot about that and that there were some real gems in that conversation. Um, if you enjoyed today's insights, I hope that you will be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback really matters to us. We really do listen. So until the next episode, keep the positivity flowing. And remember, when we make an effort to lift others up with intention, we all rise together. This is Lisa Parenteau signing off from Lifting Others as We Rise. Take good care. Thank you for joining us on another amazing episode of Lifting Others as We Rise. I hope you make sure to follow through on today's Catalyst for Change. If you enjoyed today's insights, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. You know your feedback really does matter. Stay connected for more uplifting conversations because remember, when we lift others up, we all rise together. So until the next episode, keep the positivity flowing and keep lifting up others around you. This is Lisa Parenteau signing off from Lifting Others as We Rise. Take good care.